What is going on, everybody? It is Jamie and welcome to the channel Thrift on Fire. In today's video, we're going to be doing an update of the antique booth. I'm going to let you know how my first month there went. Am I going to change anything? Was it profitable? I'll try to answer as many questions as I can in this particular video, just in case you're thinking about starting one up. Then you can kind of see beside me if you had a good peek there. I did do a new clothing rack here in the room as well. I'm going to show you that. I'm currently using it, so, you know, it hasn't fell down or anything, but I'll show you the process, what I did, and yeah, let's get into the video. So my first month right here from Courtland Treasures, Antiques and Emporium. How did it go? We'll get to that in just a second, but, you know, when I was filling the booth up, I was very happy with the aesthetic, how it looked. You know, if I looked around at other people's stuff, I thought it looked good, very similar. If there was anything, maybe I needed to cram more stuff in it. But, you know, day one filling a booth, it's pretty tricky. I was obviously taking a lot of inventory from my eBay room, you know, some stuff that I had listed on Etsy that I consider to be cool retro vintage. And then other than that, you know, I went and bought a whole bunch of jerseys and the new with tags kids jerseys. Delisted some jerseys from in here and shuffled them around. And truth be told, not one single jersey sold this month. I do have a list of everything that sold. Unless I overlooked it, but I'll tell you what sold here. I also threw a bunch of DVDs in there. I also threw a bunch of like pins and small stuff for people. I just thought people could pick up. I don't think I had anything sell that was over $20. I'm not super surprised. You know, it is a brand new booth. It's not like a bunch of people know about it, or, you know, locally, it's not as if, you know, people keep going back to that booth because they're finding things that they like. But hopefully over time, that is what happens. So yeah, so maybe potentially what I did wrong the first month before we get into the numbers is I put a lot of stuff I thought would be good sellers in there. It wasn't necessarily things that have a good track record probably for that particular venue, or maybe antique booths in general. I'm still learning, so, you know, there's a bit of a learning curve, and I might even be just like jumping the gun saying that I want to change things up. But as you can see was how I'm talking, I didn't have a super profitable month. However, it's not a bad month either. All right, so here are the sales. Now this is from March 31st till April 28th. So I got in there a day early, so we have one March sale, but this is my first month, okay? Nickelback DVD, $6. Backstreet Boy pencil, we sold 3 of those for $5 a piece. Horror DVDs, we have 1, 2, 3 of those going out for $4 a piece. Then I sold a horror book for $5. One single matchbook for $5. I think it had presidents on it or something. Then we had a rock patch. The band was Ghost. It was $5. The Annoying Orange, that came from the garage buyout that I did the video on. I got $5 for that. I didn't know what to really do with the Annoying Orange, so that's where it wound up. A Realtree hat, $5. All hats in my booth now are $5. I had them priced individually for more, and then after I did the big hat buy, I just started throwing hats in there all for $5 just to see if I could sell them like that. We sold 1, 2, 3 Disney pins for $5 a piece, so $15 there. Dilla t-shirt for $20. The Dilla t-shirt, I don't really remember where I picked it up. It might have been a wholesale buy or something. I don't remember. Maybe it's 50% off at Goodwill. Actually, I think that is where it came from. It came from Goodwill. $20 for that. Another Disney pin for $5. Sunshine Girl playing cards, so just a deck of playing cards with the Sunshine Girls from, I think, the 90s, which is, Sunshine Girls were in the news Toronto Sun. They probably still are. I just don't look at the Toronto Sun anymore. Manchester United flag, $10. Guns N' Roses DVD, $8. A horror DVD, so 2 horror DVDs for $4. And then it says we sold 5 DVDs at $4 a piece for $20. As you can see, there's a lot of DVDs here. Funko Pop LeBron James for $10. Mike's Hard Lemonade, so another baseball hat here, $5. DVD Evanescence, so the band Evanescence, $6. And then one final horror DVD for $4. That's a grand total of $174. Okay, then I have to pay commissions on top of that, which is $17.40, but that leaves me with a vendor payout of $156.60. They already paid the HST on that, so that's actually my earnings from this. That's basically a break-even point, though, just so you know. That's what the booth cost. I think it's like, I'd have to look at the receipt again. I think it's $150 plus HST, so it's technically a little bit more. But really, for the price of it, this month is basically just a wash. But let's break that down just a little bit further. So yes, clearly I'm not making much money, but if you look at the items that sold, like those pencils, for instance, came from that garage buy. I've got 100 more of those, they're worthless to me, right? So $5 for those are awesome. The Disney pins I just had, me and my wife had bought these big lots of scrapper pins to have trade pins. I'd sold some on Facebook Marketplace, gave some to friends. Those pins don't owe me anything. I've basically got no money into those anymore. The DVDs, you've seen how many DVDs I've recently bought on this channel. You know, even if they didn't come from the great big buy of however many pounds of DVDs I bought, I pick them up at the Goodwill bins for like 10 cents. So selling them for $4, it's not a lot of money, but all those little sales just chip away at your rent. And that's the point. That's why I want these items that have almost no money in to chip away at the rent. I need to figure out the big items that are going to sell for me. One of the things I've already done is just pulled all the kids' jerseys out. They're actually just behind me. I've already listed them on eBay. I've already sold 2 of them actually. What was the last one that sold? I'm just trying to remember. Well, I think you guys seen the Knights jersey, and then I just sold another one. I think it was a Boston one or whatever it was. It doesn't really matter, but they sold for $40 right away on eBay because the playoffs are going on. Maybe they're not really meant for the antique booth, or maybe it just would take longer for them to sell there. I just knew it was a good time to pull them, and I threw more band shirts in, so I don't know how they're going to perform. And at the beginning of the month, I threw more band shirts in again and took more jerseys. I think I took some starter jerseys out of there, just some higher end ones that I know will sell online pretty good still. So does that mean I don't want to sell jerseys there? No, that doesn't mean that at all. It just means I'm going to switch things up this month. I threw a whole bunch more band t-shirts there, and I threw a bunch of antiques, okay, which makes sense. It's an antique mall. I've got a lot of collectibles there and more modern stuff that I think is cool, but that's not for everybody. So I threw a whole bunch of like beer cans or beer advertisement stuff that are old, like really old, from like the 60s and 70s. Some tins, some tobacco advertising I took there. What else? You'll see, I'll throw a little clip up and you can kind of see of the rework of it. I threw some artwork on the wall. Yeah, just a lot more antique-y type stuff. So I don't know, that might be the answer. I do have to figure out the big items that are going to sell for me, and that will help me out so much. So if I can just chip away at the rent with my little items, which is the point, I still need to find those big items that are going to actually make me money there. Now, the other thing is, it's not all doom and gloom. I've heard a lot of people say that this is a slow time anyway for the antique mall. So I've heard different people just say that April's not a good month in general there, or not there, just I think at booths in general. Have some other friends who said the same thing. We're at a break-even point. And then I've heard other people who are just killing it, but it's what they're selling and who they're selling it to. I'm not at that point yet. I'm just starting, but yeah. Am I going to go forward with the antique booth? Absolutely. I'm going to give it 3 good months, and then I probably will go longer than that. I've just committed to myself. There's no commitment to anybody else but myself with the booth. It's month to month. I'm just like 3 months and then figure it out from there. So hopefully we can make some money in month 2. But I want to show you the clips here of me putting this rack together. You'll see my doubt whether I think this is going to be a good idea or not as I go. But yeah, let's talk about the rack for a minute. All right, so we're at the door end. I think it's going to come a little further. We'll see. It's going to go all the way down here. You can see this is actually bowing. I've got so much weight on this, but we're going to extend it. So it's going to come out past here. Should come right to the end of here. It should be about 8 feet total. There's no really good way to do this. I've just piled all the stuff that was in there on the floor. They're still on racks and everything. Definitely need to clean the floor too, but we're going to build this first, I think. So here's the rack all emptied. Like I said, the floor is pretty dirty. Gonna have to disassemble this thing, get it out of here, and then we can hopefully put this thing together. All right, so we have extra parts. That's never a good thing. I decided just to go straight up, screw it into the ground. It might just be too wobbly. I'm not really sure yet. I'll have to give it a try. My original thought was to kind of brace it out on the bottom while there's an extra pieces there, but it's not gonna work because it's gonna be too wide. This doesn't feel too bad. I'm gonna put clothing in here, just a few things, see how it feels. Obviously, I don't want it to like tip over or be, you know, weird or anything like that. I could probably, you know, do something on the sides here potentially just to make it more sturdy down here, like put a support across here or something. I don't know. I'm just gonna throw a few things up here, see how it looks. If it gives me an idea, if it's just gonna be too wavy. Like just as I go like this, it's moving around a lot. It might be a bad idea, but you know, I'm gonna throw a few things on there, see how it goes. Doesn't look promising though. All right, so right now I did wind up just filling it all up. It actually got more sturdy as I put the clothing on it. I'm gonna try to put some bins underneath here and see how it goes. All right, so I got it back together. I got some totes underneath. This room is very small. It's hard to show exactly how this lays out just because of the size of the room, but I think it's going to be okay. You know, I'll let you know if there's any issues, but I don't know that it gave me a whole lot more space. I just have more room to space here to cram clothing up here, but I don't know. We'll see. Let's see if it's an improvement or not in the future. So I recorded that clip yesterday when I was putting this together. As you can see, it's still got a little bit of a wave to it. I think it's totally fine though. I might still put a support in the side. I think I was just felt a little depleted yesterday because it didn't go the way that I planned. I had these braces. I'm going to see if I can return them because I probably have about $40 worth of extra parts that I don't need now. I think it's going to be fine the way that it is. I just felt like I made plans and measured things out and it didn't work out. I am definitely not the type of person who would normally do that. I don't normally just build things. You know, my dad is actually really good at building things. Like he probably could have did this like no problem. My brother is very good at that. I'm not a handyman really. I can do things, like don't get me wrong, I'm not afraid to try to do things like that, but yeah, it's definitely not something that I'm good at for sure. But yeah, I don't know what else is going on. I actually just bought a shed. So that's kind of like a pivot, obviously. But yeah, I put a 50% down deposit on so they would build it, okay? This is a pretty good size shed. It's going to go out behind us on the property here. I thought about putting it to the side of the house, but I think this makes the most sense behind me. It's not going to be maybe the best looking place for it, but it's going to be the most practical place for it. So this shed is 12 by 20, has a roll-up door and a side door. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I'm thinking about insulating it. I think we're going to eventually run hydro out there too. Am I going to work out of it full time? Well, I do live in Canada and I would have to heat it. It gets really humid in the summer, so I'd want some sort of airflow, whether it be a window shaker or maybe get like a heat pump system like we have in our house here. But that all costs quite a bit of money, so I don't know. For right now, it's just gonna be storage. I still wanna work out of this room. I would just like to have a lot more space to be able to like do bigger buys and not have to think about where it's gonna go. Right now, the spare bedroom over here is overflow for a lot of my stuff, and I don't really want that. I actually don't want a lot of the stuff just in the house in general. If I had a better place to take photos, you know, obviously this is a little corner in the kitchen. That's where I do a lot of the photos, or on the floor right here. I would like a more dedicated place where I didn't have to like move it all the time, but I don't really know how that's gonna work. Maybe it'll be this room. Maybe this will be my photo room again. This originally was my photo room. If you've been around for a very long time, I had it set up in here and that's where I started. But yeah, I don't know. I think the shed will be a big improvement, you know, just in general. I don't have a photo to show you of the shed. I can kind of show you, you know, I can take another clip, go outside and throw it up here of where it's gonna go. I have to get it leveled out, so we have to take off the topsoil. I think I'm gonna get gravel and throw gravel down so there's a level base. Other than that, yeah, it's gonna be 4 to 6 weeks for them to build it, so it's not something that's gonna happen soon on the channel, but it's gonna happen sooner than later. It'll happen within the next 6 to 8 weeks, obviously. So coming up this week, I'm actually going on a mini vacation with my wife. So last year for her birthday, we did New York City and Yankee Stadium, and that's what she wanted to do. This year, she asked to go, if we could go to Pittsburgh. We're gonna see Pittsburgh Pirates play the Angels at PNC. So that'll be really cool. I've never been to Pittsburgh before, so I maybe drove through it once, but I've never really hung out, spent time there. We're gonna be there for 2 days, and then after that, we're gonna drive to Philadelphia and see the Phillies and the Jays in Philadelphia. That'll be really cool. We'll be staying overnight then, and then we'll actually be traveling home on her actual birthday. That'll be a complete travel day all the way back home. So we'll be back home, you know, Wednesday. So I'm just gonna try to push my handling time and not ship anything until Thursday. So that's the plan. So there's going to be no what sold video on this channel. I don't know if there's going to be a video now until maybe next weekend. So if you're watching this on Saturday, you might not see content again on this channel until Saturday, unless something comes up. Like tomorrow, I plan on going yard sailing, which will be my first day going out yard sailing if it doesn't rain or anything like that. So there could be a video there. I could get it edited and throw it up Wednesday. I wake up super early, so it wouldn't be that unusual for me to edit the video while Amanda was sleeping when we're away. But at this point, it's definitely going to be just sort of a getaway. I didn't really plan on making content, but I'm just sort of letting you know, we're going away and doing some stuff. So, hopefully we can have a good time, and, there might be some content coming up on the channel. You might have to wait a little bit, but I appreciate you guys watching regardless. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you do like videos like this, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing for more content, and we will see you soon.